Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from Zozo stocktwits.com, and this is your stock watch list for Tuesday, the 24th of April. Let's go ahead and check out some of the action that was going on in the SPY, or lack of action in the SPY. Actually, so this morning we were up in the pre-market. This is a 5-minute pre-post-market chart you're looking at. So after the Friday lows here, and then we started to move up this morning in the pre-market, but then upon the open of the market, the SPY dropped off. We held this 266.50, and then the bulls started to ramp us back up over VWAP, the green line you see here. They took us up to about 268. This resistance, which was previous kind of a support area, 268, became resistance, and back down we went. We broke down through VWAP, and then we moved down, and then finally we came back down to test around the Friday lows. Here was the head fake, right? We broke down below it, then we came back up above the Friday lows and moved up into the close, but that's as far as we could get into the close here for the SPY. So basically how that translates into the daily chart of the SPY, sorry for all the lines, but those come from the chart you were just looking at, the intraday. But so anyway, we take that those lines off for you there to make it clear it up. And as you can see, we still remain under the 50 SMA. Here was the Friday candle, and basically we're hugging around the 10 SMA. The low today, once again, was 265.35. We broke the Friday lows. They bounced it back up, but another indecisive candle. Volume today, about 66 million shares on the SPY, so not a whole lot of volume in the SPY. When the market was moving up, the SPY, when it was climbing like this, we did trade SQ. We got a trade in SQ and Zion today, a couple of our best trades. I just couldn't find that small one that wanted to make the move that I wanted, so a lot of flats in the market on my trades today, but Zion and SQ gave a couple of trades there, and I think we got a small trade in TNA on the bounce here into the close on TNA. So not a great day, basically an up day, but not a spectacular up day for a Monday. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into some of the news that came out after the bell, courtesy of the trade exchange built for traders by traders. Ameritrade came out with earnings after the bell. They also guided lower. They were a beat, earnings per share beat. So the stock, popped up, then sells off. They did guide lower on Ameritrade, so then the stock basically moving down in the after hours. So that's AMTD. Also, Google had earnings tonight after the bell. They popped Google up, and then they moved it right back down. On Google, they were Google earnings per share revenue beat for Google tonight after the bell. Zion had earnings after the bell. This was one that I was trading intraday and moving up in the after hours. Zion earnings per share and revenue beat for Zion Bank, so a nice pop up there on Zion after the close tonight. Next up, we had, let's see, TNDM had some news after the bell. TNDM, a little bit of a move up, nice move up there. So TNDM Diabetes Care announces agreements for distribution of insulin pump products in Australia and New Zealand. So some news there for TNDM after the bell. Whirlpool earnings per share and revenue miss. WHR earnings per share revenue miss. So that stock moving down in the after hour. Let's see. EPZM got halted after the bell tonight. Then they had their news come out. EPZM announced that the U.S. Based enrollment of a new patient into Tasmostat clinical trials is temporarily on hold. So EPZM, when it did come out of a halt, basically cratered down in the after hours on EPZM on that news. EPZM following a safety report, pediatric patient who developed a secondary lymphoma. So some news there on EPZM driving that stock down in the after hours. They are saying that van in Toronto killed 9 people, injured 16. So that's a terrorist attack in Toronto today. Hearts go out to those folks in Toronto. And then we had some more earnings that came out after the bell. Barrick Gold beat by a penny, misses on revenue. Owings, Illinois beats by a penny, beats on revenue. And that was pretty much it. VPTX had some earnings after the bell. VPTX misses by 3 cents, beats on revenue for VPTX. So that's kind of some of your news after the bell tonight, courtesy of the Trade Exchange. By the way, they did a interview of this John Pfeiffer. He's a hedge fund. He made a bull case for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first viable candidate to replace gold, and the world has seen. So he's putting a target on Bitcoin of like 700K, 250K to 700K. He came on CNBC, was making the bull case for Bitcoin. So just thought I'd bring that to your attention in case Bitcoin starts moving up again. Right here's the chart of Bitcoin, courtesy of Trading View. So we are turning the corner. We held that 6,000 area. We are getting back over the 50 SMA for Bitcoin. We're still under the 200. But if these hedge funds guys start trying to move Bitcoin, well, I might not trade Bitcoin, but I'll keep eye on things like DPW and Mara, things like that are NETE. Any of those type of stocks if Bitcoin's going to start moving back up. So I'll trade the stocks. All right. We are testing this SMH. We have not tested for the semis, the 200 SMA in about 2 years or so, right? I don't know when the last time we actually tested the 200 SMA. I guess if you want to call this a test of the 200 SMA, but right now we are on the 200 SMA. So it's been quite a while since we've had that happen. Such names as Intel, holding up okay, but you can see, holding the 20 SMA, but pulling back. They have earnings coming up this week. Intel, Nvidia, another semiconductor name, pulling off of the highs here, coming down to the 100 SMA. TXN, another semi. MU also moving down. Qualcomm moving down. Also new lows there on Qualcomm. Taiwan, this one basically started the whole SMH rolling over after last week. They came out with their earnings and they moved down, and that kind of took the semis down. So the SMH is right now testing its 200 SMA on the daily chart right now on the SMH. So big test for them. Let's look at the Qs real fast. Qs are below the 50 SMA. SPY currently remains below the 50 SMA, but trying to hold on to the 10 SMA on the SPY. IWM holding above the 50 SMA. The IWM also holding above the 10 SMA here and holding up pretty well. IWC, the micro cap, same thing. So some strength there in the IWM, IWC. For me, I think, swing traders, keep it light right now. USO had a strong day, even with the dollar moving up today, right? We see the dollar. This is the ETF for the dollar moving up. USO held on pretty strong today, even with those words from Donald Trump about OPEC and whatnot. The USO ETF for oil bounced right off of the 10 SMA today and held up pretty well. Gold did not fare as well underneath the 50 SMA. Silver also trying to hang on to the 50 SMA, but not looking too pretty there on SLV silver. All right, so that's kind of some of the markets. IBB below the 200, below the 50 SMA on the IBB. The XBI also below the 50 SMA again, but holding above the 200 SMA. So the mid-cap biotechs holding up a little bit better, but a pullback today in the XBI. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some stocks I'll be watching for tomorrow. Box got a big pop from the Sohn conference. One of the guests mentioned it, and so BOX popped up today. Has that 24 round number up ahead. So it popped up until 24 and then pulled back, but could be interesting. We'll watch that one. CDNS had earnings after the bell. CDNS, nice pop, nice move up. So we'll see if this one wants to make a continuation move tomorrow. CHK, 2.6 million shares traded, getting back above the 50 SMA here. So nice ramp up today, and held their gains and moving up, ticking up a little bit in the after hours tonight. CHEK, and starting to turn the corner up again. All right, was watching this one intraday, didn't trade it, but moved up nicely for the day. So I'll have GERN, GERN on watch. The high today was 420, so we'll see if this sets up intra-regional bank, HBAN. If you look at KRE, right, KRE trying to get up over the 50 SMA. The regional banks actually looking stronger than the financial ETF XLF. So KRE, the regionals like Zion, HBAN, looking better here. So I'll have an eye on HBAN, and I think I'll also be watching Zion as it popped in the after hours on those earnings to see if we can get some kind of trade again in Zion. LNW. All right, this stock Friday it popped up on their earnings report. Big volume came in, kind of an inside day here as it's kind of below $5. If this thing gets back over $5, could give us a nice trade. LLNW. We traded it on Friday for this pop over $5, so I'll be watching it again tomorrow. Was watching it today, but it just didn't have the juice today to get over that $5 spot. So we'll watch it again tomorrow. LVS holding the 5 EMA compared to the rest of the market right now. Some relative strength here. ARA, in case those Bitcoin stocks want to get going. It did have 1.5 million shares today. Perked up a little bit, not really in love with it, but just keep it on watch in case. MGM. Another one that's been holding up through the selling in the market. We bounced off back here, the 13 EMA, my purple dotted line there, and maybe started to head back up. So MGM may be a possible swing trade in that one. NETE, we got it today for a little bit of a move. Not the move we were expecting, NETE, but it did, start to get some life back into it. Here's the daily chart. Has that $10 number above it, and also the highs today were 958 on NETE. Keep an eye on that. Nike turning the corner back above the 50 SMA. Under Armour also back above the 50 SMA. So a couple there to watch. Maybe possible swing trade. I'd have to lean towards Nike. Would be the one that I would go after for a swing trade. I think go with the best in class. LD, 2.4 million shares. The high today was 328, so maybe over 330 on SHLD. I think there was rumor that they were putting themselves out there for sale or something, so we'll see on that one. TNDM, like I said, it popped on that news after hours. It's a bit extended though, TNDM. So not a favorite, but we'll see if we get a trade out of it. VTVT. Was watching this one today, and it popped in the pre-market, gives it all back, rolls back over, and then basically stayed below VWAP on the 5-minute chart for the rest of the day. I would think if this one could build some momentum, maybe get up over, this 220 area, to show me that, let it prove itself a little bit first. The highs today on this name was $2.30. So maybe if we get over 220, maybe it has some momentum going for it, and we get back over that $2.30. 2.1 million shares trade. The market shows us a little more strength. Most folks are watching. Let me put the lines back on this chart. Most folks are watching, but a lot of folks want the bulls to get us back over this 270 spot here. All right, 2,700 on the SPX cash. And this 264 area is probably what the bears want to break down, all right, after they break down the Friday lows. So we're going to have to see how the markets fare during the evening hours. Here's the futures right now. Currently, the futures are up 7 points. The S&P futures up a half a point. Nasdaq futures up a couple of points there. And don't forget, this week is very heavy with earnings. Let me open. Here's your earnings for the rest of the week, courtesy of Earnings Whisper. So tomorrow before the bell, you have Caterpillar, we have 3M, Verizon, Win. Will be coming out, WYNN, Coca-Cola, Biogen, United Technologies, Harley Davidson, HOG. Then after the close, Tuesday, Texas Instruments, iRobot, Amgen, SuperValue, Capital One, COF symbol there, Cree after the bell, CREE symbol. And then you see all the earnings coming out, Boeing, AMD, Facebook, Twitter, Visa, PayPal, ATM, Qualcomm, Chipotle, CMG, eBay, Goodyear, Rockwell, AbbVie, UPS, Raytheon, GM. So a lot of big names, Southwest, Western Digital, Intel, Amazon, ExxonMobil, Chevron coming out on Friday, Charter Communications, Baidu also coming out on Thursday. The big name here, Amazon, Microsoft, Intel, US Steel, letter X. So Visa coming out. A bunch of earnings coming out in the week for this week and also into next week. We probably have Apple coming out next week. So, keep on your toes out there, swing traders. Keep it light for right now. You could take a couple of positions. Don't take anything too heavy as far as dollar amounts, and just stay cautious until we see that, we're getting back over, the 50 SMA and that $270, 2,700 spot on the SPY. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for listening. This is Mike at ZozoStockWatch.com. Appreciate you following me on YouTube, and you can follow me on Twitter at ZozoStockWatch, also on stocktwits at ZozoStockWatch. Have a great night.